Hello, we're live. Finally, if you have been on round one or on round two, because I deleted round two because it didn't work, I am live with my good friend and student, Linda Enoh. I should have asked you how to
hmm
pronounce your. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
I know. Okay. So you're here for Live Susan Says. Today we're doing a special episode because last week we were talking about just a bunch of stuff, and Linda just kept popping up in my mind, and I thought I need to share this brilliant woman with my audience, with you, because she is amazing at what she does. But more importantly, I have had the privilege of having Linda in my life for now a number of years, and so I am just super excited about where she was and is now, and also where she's going to. And I think it's always helpful to hear other people's journeys, and so I wanted to be able to showcase her and let you know that if, regardless of where you're at, because sometimes we feel like our paths are meandering, because I know I have felt that way, and sometimes we feel like we're going backwards instead of forwards, that it is all in the goodness of where you need to go. So if you're brand new to me, my name is Susan McVeigh. I'm a business sales strategist. I help entrepreneurs just like you sell with more ease without the sleaze so that you can make money and impact while living your life of freedom and flexibility. And you don't have to do double the work in order to get double the profits. And so I wanted to really showcase Linda and have her share some of her expertise. So if you have any questions content, on content marketing, how to strategize the use of your content to create conversations and conversions with your audience in a way that's meaningful, post your questions below. That's what we're here for. But before I keep talking, Linda, welcome. I'm so excited to have you. Share with
Thank you
us,
so much.
who the heck are you, and how did you come to this crazy world of content marketing and online business?
Yes, so thank you so much for having me on your page, Susan. I am so excited to be here. So my name is Linda Enoh. I am a content marketing strategist. I'm also a wife and mom of four kids, ages 5 and under. And yeah, I live in Houston, Texas.
Guys, four kids under five. So if anybody
Yeah.
has this nailed down in terms of how to be everywhere and seen by your prospective clients without needing to do all the things, Linda has this on lockdown.
Yes, ma'am. It's definitely possible. Definitely. And as a content marketing strategist, I help ambitious female entrepreneurs stand out online and attract their dream clients by sharing content that is authentic, that is them, but without the overwhelm or feeling stressed out about it.
Awesome. Now, you haven't always been doing this, right, Linda? Like
Mm-mm.
so share with us a little bit because you came from a very cerebral background. Like you were in higher education, you've been a professor. So
Yeah.
how did you make the transition, and more importantly, like what spurred you to create your own business when you were in a really, I mean, it's a lucrative field. You were a female professor teaching, um,
Yeah.
using your skills, using your gifts. You have a PhD. So how do you go from there to here?
Yeah, that's a great question because if you ask my friends, I had the dream job. I was working, a lot of the hours were online, and for college professors, you don't have to be at the office all the time, 9 to 5, but you also bring a lot of work at home. That's the thing. But I really loved what I did. It wasn't like a job that I didn't like. I love my colleagues and the environment and all of that. I taught tourism. My background is in marketing and hospitality and then tourism for my PhD. And I've always loved culture, travel, and all of that. I speak four different languages. And so I was always interested in starting a business as well. And one of the classes that I taught was about starting your own tourism business. And so I started as a travel blogger, actually, and I wanted to talk travel and I wanted to write about travel. So that's how we started it. I wasn't thinking about making money out of it. And then I, got to know more about the online world and how you could actually make money from it. And that's when I took it more seriously and took some courses and all of that.
Wow. Okay. So you already obviously had um, like some kind of nudge, right? From the universe, from God, divine, to
Hmm.
say you've gone to school, you have all these skills and this knowledge, but yet you had a passion for traveling. It's part of what you studied in school, but it wasn't really something that you were doing day to day in your educate, like as a
Correct.
teacher, right? So you
Correct.
started as a blogger. Now, as a blogger, were you making money? Was it
No.
actually a business? No, okay. No.
No, it was to me it was just to talk about places I wanted to go. I'm talking about packing, what to pack, and that's when also I started. I had my first two boys, and giving advice on what to pack because I've always traveled with a carry-on only as a family of four, even as a family of six. We still, yeah,
Okay, so so that's a whole other gift, and I
it
think
is.
and I think it lends nicely because I mean obviously your efficiency with traveling, with packing, with being able to kind of pick up and go with now a family of six and live
Yep.
out of a carry on for all
Hmm.
of you.
Yes, ma'am. Except my husband because he's
He's bigger. I mean he's a big guy.
because
He's
he
tall. He's
yeah.
yeah.
And he
Okay.
packs at the last minute, so I don't have that patience.
Wow. Okay. So I did not know this about you. So obviously, a lot of the same, similar strategies and structures are things that you are now using as a content marketing strategist. So I know that,
Yeah,
just in the past week or so, you had a light bulb moment where you realized, wow, like you've forgotten that you took marketing in school. This is part of your background
right.
that you've taken for granted. Um, so I'm also curious, how did you get from travel blogger to building the online business that you have right now? Given that you had that experience, was it easy for you to start your business doing what you're doing today?
Well, honestly, it wasn't easy because there's so many people out there who are doing different things. And when you're new, you tend to look at what everybody else is doing and you try to fit in. And so I was trying to replicate or imitate or do what the other person was doing because that's the only thing I knew,
Mm.
right? So, but it didn't feel like me. So I started, I wanted to do something into travel, but then I was like, oh, this is not really it because I wanted a little more. And then I wanted to look into how to support moms because that was the stage in which I was. But then I was like, oh, there's a missing piece. And so when I was expecting my twins, I had already had that, systematic way of planning things.
Mm.
I'm a planner. And when I was on maternity leave, I knew that I had to take it to the next level. And with that, even making it a strategy or system or that I was going to share with other people, but is to plan 90 days of content so that when I was going to be at the hospital, I knew that that was going to be taken care of.
Yeah. So share with us a little bit because I know that you and I met at the very early stages of your business,
Hmm.
and there was I want you to kind of take us back to because now you are successful in your business, but there we all go through a stage where we're not there yet. So can you think back to when you were first starting your business and it was difficult, it was hard. What did you think was the biggest struggle in starting your business, especially as it relates to sales and selling?
Yeah. Well, at that time too, I was still at my academic job.
Mm.
So that balance
So you
as
were
a new
still
mom,
struggling with being a mom,
yes.
nine to
Hmm.
five.
Yeah.
You're a professor, and
Yeah.
then also having your side hustle, which you really wanted to have as your full time thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So trying to balance all of that and trying to understand what information to actually keep, because I was bombarded by so many things. And I remember
It's like
thinking of
all the
going
things.
into webinars, and I started doing webinars for some other things. And then I was looking at, oh, she did a video series. Maybe I should do a four-part video series. Not even knowing what it was, like what the strategy behind was, but just because, oh, that looks good. And so I didn't know which direction to take. And in a way, now looking back, I took a program, and that's how we met, that gave me the good foundation. Like, this is what's possible. And now, after that, I had to go deeper into, okay, what are the skills that I need? And I had to focus and find the right person that was going to guide me into that area. And so, sales for me was, I mean, it's not like I had a background in sales or anything. Actually, my first job was commercial with Dell computers. It's not really that we were selling computers, but because people were calling us, so
Oh
they already
yeah,
knew they wanted computers.
yeah,
Now I had to sell them on, on the upsell and all that. But still, it's not the same when you're selling yourself. When you sell a computer, you're like, you have all the, the features and all of that, and you're like, you detach yourself from it. But when it's you and your business, that's when you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be pushy, I don't want to brag, I don't want. And so all these negative feelings were keeping me from doing anything. And it wasn't until I made that mindset shift of selling is serving, that to me was like, oh, it's not about me. It's about helping other people who need what I already have. So
I
that was big for me.
I love that. Well, and I think this is where I remember there was a couple of things. So I guess for me, like you've highlighted when things really started to click, right? When you made that shift around sales being serving. The other piece that I think is really important is you had taken, I mean, we both took a very comprehensive course, a program that was teaching us
Hmm.
all the things in business, like so
Yeah.
many things.
Yeah.
So, how do you, because I think this is really important. I know for me, it was something that I really struggled with, was realizing, just like what you said, I had to go deeper. Like, I mean, that wasn't a small investment, not only of time, but also of money in
Yeah.
making that leap to start a business, to invest in a mentor and a program, and to realize that, wow, as comprehensive as this is, it's still not quite enough. I still
Yeah.
need more. So, how did you reconcile, or what steps did you need to take in order to help you to keep moving forward, knowing that you had already made this investment, that it was getting you some of it, like some of the results, but not all of the results, and recognizing that you needed more help, more support, more assistance in order to help you to keep going. Was there any guilt? Was there any like what I call the negative Nellies, right? Like the stories that we like, oh, I shouldn't need to keep investing. I should be able to figure this out on my own. Did you have any of those kind of things that popped up for
Actually,
you?
yeah, actually, it was a little bit of the opposite, because I knew that at that time I had to take my business seriously. I knew that, okay, this is something that I'm building that is going to be a business, and I could see how it was going to be like in the future. And it's also when I decided to leave my job, because I wanted to make this a full-time running business. So I knew that I would need to invest some more and do more work into it. So that was, you know, the piece that I knew I had to, there's something I knew I had to do.
I love it. So when I guess when did you? Because you shared with us when you started your business, you were still in your 9 to 5. You were still a professor. So,
Yeah.
what gave you the leap of faith? Like, what allowed you to finally say yes, and I'm all in? At that point in your business, were you already making sales in your business? Were you already full with clients? Like, kind of walk us through at what point you decided this is something that I can do. and I need to go all in, like, push all the chips on the table and take
Right.
myself seriously, and like you had said, to get it to the next level. What did that actually look like?
It was a mix of things. I think the most important piece was that I really had confidence in myself. I really knew that it was going to work. And call me crazy, but that was a driving force. I knew that I wasn't going to fail. I didn't know how long it was going to take me, but I knew I was going to make it. So that was a driving force. And I had made a one or two sales at that time, but nothing significant.
Mm.
And so I knew that, okay, I have the roadmap, and I know what I need to get there. I knew that I had some missing elements, and I knew that, okay, if I get this, then I know I can make it.
I love it. Well, I know that
Hmm.
you and I started working together through one of my programs, Create Your Irresistible Offer, and I want to talk a little bit more about what you have on the go in terms of your offers. But I really want to help kind of walk back, because it's been, gosh, a couple of years now since you took that first
Hmm.
step with me. Um, what made you feel like that was something that would be helpful for you? And what did you get out of it? Because I'm curious, because I know that sometimes we feel like I have all of this stuff and then I have the pieces, and yet because you already had offers, you already were making a couple of, you had people that were interested. So what was
Hmm.
it that you felt like you were still missing that made that particular program have you go, I need this now, and made you kind of take that as your next step?
Yeah, I, I think that at the beginning I wasn't, and one of the reasons why is because there are so many things out there.
Mm,
I don't think I really believed in my offers.
mm,
And by taking a program, I really nailed down what my irresistible offer was going to be. And I remember it like it was yesterday, because I think that we started it. I don't remember exactly, but I know we started it, and then the same week I made the money back because I was so clear on what it is that I wanted to offer. And up until that moment, I was just offering things that, okay, that sounds good, but I wasn't really that confident in it. And if you don't believe in your product or your service, then nobody's going to believe in it.
yeah,
So really being clear on that offer was made a huge difference.
I love it. Well, and I know that you've been like the model student because you have continued to implement and exercise the same process over and over again with the offers that you have created. And so I know that, so here's the thing, because I know, I mean, for me and for you, even with the structure, even with the process, we can create offers that go flat, right? Like,
Yeah,
not quite complete crickets, or maybe they are complete crickets, but they don't
yeah,
quite do what we want it to do. So, um, I know that you've recently had a shift, and I want to talk a little bit more about like how that came about. But how do you know? How do you know when you are creating an offer, even with, because you've created irresistible offers before and had lots of
yeah.
success now with them? How do you know when you create an offer that it's not going to work, or do you know? I'm just curious.
Yeah. Sometimes on some occasions, when I once I launched, I kind of hoped that nobody would sign up, or I kind of
Has
dread the
has
whole.
anybody else had this? You create something that you're not crazy about and you're hoping nobody else bought. I've
Yeah,
I've done it. I have done it. Where I think it's a good
yeah,
idea on paper, but the reality doesn't, something's just
yeah.
not quite aligned, right?
I wasn't feeling the whole, we're going to be working on this for 6 weeks, or we're going to be working on this for 3 months. And before we even started, I was like, this is already draining.
Mm,
So I, when this happens, I know that, okay, there's something wrong here. That the offer looks good, it's something that people need and everything, but for me, it's not working for me.
mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I'm doing it for other people. It fits the market research and all of that. Like you said, it fits the the process. but you're missing and you're forgetting about the person who will deliver the content, which is you.
You.
So
Gosh.
yeah, so I'm so glad I made that click the other day.
I love it. Well, and because I know that you have had every single offer that you have put out since you joined Create Your Irresistible Offer, you have had make money.
Yeah.
Every single offer. Now, again, to your point, sometimes just making the money is not the most important part because you're not as crazy about the offer. And so you had this recently, right, where we had a discussion. We were able to meet in person, which I loved having that opportunity to chat with you, and realize that one of the offers that you had, you sold, but you weren't crazy about it, and you had a major epiphany about a shift that you have created in your business model. I'd love for you to share with us kind of what happened, because I mean, for me, I had a shift you about 2 years ago where I had to shut down a lot of my one-on-one business, which was like 90% of the business that I had, that the business that I was creating. And I realized I don't have the right structures. I don't have the right boundaries. I grew too quickly without really putting the foundational pieces in place. And that that's something that I'm trying to address and teach, because I am also doing it for myself in my business, and teaching my students in Sales Mastery Society. So I'm curious for you, the epiphany that you had recently, share with us kind of what happened that made you have this realization, and what are you doing now differently in terms of how you help your students, your clients, that is much more aligned with where it is that you need to go.
Yeah. So I had to look at how will it look like to actually offer that product, offer that service, offer that course in that program. And I wasn't really feeling the whole long-term commitment. I think that last year I stopped the 3 months one-on-one, or earlier this year, because I wasn't really feeling the 3 month commitment. And the way I work, and that's why I like your programs and your style, is that I'm very action taking.
Yes.
Like, I only watch a webinar if I'm going to implement something the same day. If not, I don't watch it. And right. And for your
Yes.
course, it was like, okay, you create your offer now and you sell it, and then the next day it was sold. Or you create a freebie, you sell it tomorrow and you get signups. So, it was very boom, boom, boom. And so that's why I decided that intensives are, to me, they really light my fire, because it's like we do the work for 6 hours, and I love working focus concentration on something. Like, for 6 hours, we get the job done. What we were supposed to do in 6 weeks, we get it done in 6 hours, and it's boom and done. All right. So I love that model so much more than the long period of time where you still get the same results, you still get the same, outcome at the end, but the time is shortened by 6 weeks, basically, right?
Yeah.
So whether it's through a retreat or through an intensive, it's the same concept. It's like, okay, we get together, we get the work done, and it's done.
Absolutely. Well, and I love that, it fits your lifestyle as a busy mom
Yeah.
of four, but it also fits the lifestyles for your ideal customers, right? Who, pairing out a whole day, while it might seem like a big time investment, actually, it's not. It's much easier to say, I'm out for the day, and to arrange for whether it's childcare or support, or just mark
Yeah.
off your calendar, than to do an hour every single week over the course of 6 weeks, or in the
Yeah.
past it would have been 3 months, right? To get
Yeah.
so give us an idea, like, what happens in a day. Why did you decide on one day, first of all? And what's the possible outcome? How do you help people at the end of that intensive? What do they get as a result?
So at the end of the 6 hours, they walk away with 90 days of content written and planned. So not only do we look at the calendar of your next 90 days, 3 months, you know exactly what you're going to share, where, when, and you're going to have that content written as well. So that's what we do. Instead of having it done over months, you get it done in one
In
day.
one day. Okay, so wait. So you're telling me, so like if I booked something with you tomorrow, then we could have all of Q4 done.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all. And
Yeah.
so here's the thing. Because I know that although you had goals. Like we all have goals, right? We all have goals around what we want to do, how many people we want to help, how much income that we want to generate in our business. And there's a number of ways that we can do that. And when you were selling your other program, which was still, it was irresistible. People were signing up for it, but I could see you were not, the spark just wasn't quite there, right? And so share with us what happened when you decided this was the new offer, that it was in complete alignment with how you wanted to operate and also how your ideal clients wanted to get the help. Because let's face it, like we sit down and bang out in one day and do an intensive, and
Wow.
90 days, a whole quarter is done. Like I have a plan of here's what content, here's where to put it. And so how easy, because this was a higher price point than your other
Yeah.
offers. So how easy was it to get this one sold and to get people to say yes to you?
Um, was it the next day? The next day I had two yeses for that. As because the next day I told my group that this is what I offered, and two people reached out and say, "Hey, I'm in." So it feels more me because it's the style of work that I like, and it attracts the type of women I want to work with. And that's why I said at the beginning that I work with ambitious female entrepreneurs with big, bold goals. So if you are as crazy and bold as me and want to get it done in one day and you believe that it's possible, then you're my type of person.
I love
That's,
it.
that's the way I work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because with this, so this is not the only offer that you have, right? You're still doing your retreats, which allow you
Yes.
to partner your love of travel and your past, which we talked about at the very beginning with your travel blogging, and now you get to live the life, not just blog about it and make money while
Yes.
you travel, and other people get to travel with you. And in the interim,
Yes.
you are helping people in this very intense, powerful way that is completely aligned and higher price point, more valuable, I would say, and
Yeah.
way easier for you to sell without any like tension or resistance or I mean,
Yeah.
you put in the work, but there wasn't as much effort. And so two yeses right away. And I think you had shared with me that you also got a couple of other people who were like, I need to put some things in place. Please make
Yep.
sure I have a spot because I don't want to
That's
miss
right.
this opportunity. Um,
Yeah.
and so that is amazing, right? Because I think it's really
Yeah.
important. I think too often we hear from other marketers or sales experts that you have to sell high ticket, you have to sell only one thing, or you have to sell a certain way, or you have to do like low ticket leading into high ticket. And here you're sharing with us that that's not necessarily the case of what you've been able to build. And it's been at a point where you have left your 9 to 5, right? You've been able to have that. And yes, you have the confidence in yourself, but now it sounds like you also have the confidence in your ability to generate sales, to be able to put out offers that
Absolutely.
your audience loves, but more importantly, that you
Yeah.
love
Because
to
it's fun.
produce.
To
Yeah.
me, I mean, it's like, oh, we're going to Morocco in March. It's amazing. I
So
mean,
next year you're going to Morocco. Where else are you going?
we're going to New Orleans in January.
New Orleans in January,
Um,
okay?
mhm. Then Morocco in March during
Yep,
spring break, so I can bring the whole family.
love it.
And October is going to be Paris.
Paris in the fall. I love it.
Yes.
Right. And so I know that you've had a lot of people in your community, in your audience. If you are listening to this and you're like, sign me up, where do I get more details? We're going to share how you
Yes.
get in contact with Linda, because here's the thing: when you have your content nailed for 90 days, and these are working retreats, like you're going to do the same thing as what Linda just described when she does her intensive. So if you can't go on these retreats, book an intensive. Like that's the design of what you've
Right.
structured, right? And so if you can and you want to include work plus play, then you have the ability to go and travel and still get 90 days worth of content at minimum completed, because I know you
Mm-hmm.
shared with me
Mm-hmm.
some of the ladies have done way more than 90 days.
Yep. The whole year.
A whole year. This is crazy to me. This is a whole, like, look, if you're on here, I would love to hear from you, because I just spent some time. So I don't have any shortage of content, but it's the organization. And I sat down with one of our fellow members, and she's helping me to just get my life in order on my email list. So if you're on my email list, stay tuned. I'm coming for you. I am coming for you. So in case you thought I dropped off the earth and you're like, what about us? I'm coming. But imagine if you could have a plan, because that's essentially what I'm trying to put in place for my email list. So whether this is for, so Linda, is this better for, so I guess, let me, I have so many questions. So let me stop, slow down, catch a breath. So if you have somebody right now who is struggling and maybe not quite ready to engage with you, to work with you, but they know that content is really, really important, where could they start? How do they begin to get a plan in place? Because maybe, 90 days just seems like it's very overwhelming. So
Mm-hmm.
what can they do if they know I have to be visible? I know
Yeah.
content is really important, but
Mm-hmm.
but where do I even start? Like I just have a hodgepodge of
Yeah.
stuff, and I kind of just feel like I'm higgledy piggledy all over the place, because you're not writing it for them or with them, right? You're giving
Mm-hmm.
them a structure, but
Yeah.
what would I do if I'm struggling, if I have no ideas, if I don't know where to begin? How can you help me?
Yeah. So if you don't have the time to do it, to write a lot of content, my first suggestion for you would be to repurpose your content. So if you have, I have a lot of free resources out there on my page and on my free community, free Facebook group. And repurposing is the best thing you can do. Save time, save some sanity. Use the existing content that you already have and repurpose it. Multiply 20, 30, 50 times. Actually, my freebies on how to turn one simple Facebook post into 32 plus pieces of content, right? Just from one Facebook post. So that's something you can do this weekend and not have to worry about your content for the next 2, 3 weeks, because how many weeks can you cover with 32 pieces of content? So that's the first thing you can do if you're like, okay, I have something already, but I don't know where to go from here. Repurpose what you already have so you can still stay visible until you create something new.
Awesome.
That would
Okay.
be my first advice.
So Linda is going to share links
Mhm.
below. Okay. So if you're on
Yes,
here,
ma'am.
she will share the link to your freebie, the
Yep.
30, yep. So that you can, basically, that's like a month's worth of content if you're posting once a day, really.
Yeah.
And then your business page and your free Facebook community. So we'll have
Mhm.
links below so that you can go ahead and join, follow, give her some love, get help, because there's resources out there. You don't need to struggle. You have access to an
Yeah.
expert here who has been able to do this through her educational career, but now more importantly, taking all of those skills in life and in business to be able to put that together for how she helps her students. So if I lost my train of thought. I had another question because I had so many questions. So if I guess if you could go back and tell your original self who had started that business, if you could give her a piece of advice around where you are today, what would you tell her?
I would say two things. One, ask for help. Don't be scared to ask for help. And two, don't be scared to be yourself and to map your own trajectory. Because I don't see a lot of people whose business is based on retreats and incentives like mine is, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't feel lost. I feel more fulfilled. So don't be scared to have your own model and look for help. I mean, I sought help and I found you. And even with the society, I call society like it's a secret society. The sales mastery society. I mean, even when we're in there, we can ask you any kind of questions all the time, and not being scared to ask for help. That will take you a long way.
I love it. Well, and so I'd love for you to share with people because you did mention a little bit about being in Sales Mastery Society. How do you think that it's helped you? Because I mean, we both started our business and we got help right from the very beginning. Right, we joined a program. We had a
Yeah.
really comprehensive kind of walkthrough. But we both recognized in our own different ways that we needed more for the
Yeah.
areas that we needed support on. So, what have you found the most helpful? What have you found that has been the most impactful for you in your business for where you are right now and then also where you're going to?
The sisterhood there, even though we have some male members, but the group dynamics is so worth it because whenever I have a question, I can see it from different angles, and people from different niches, not even like mine, can give me their opinion, and not only their support but their opinion, and help me look at my blind spots and truly analyze and revisit. Okay, is this really what I was trying to do? Is this really what I want to do? Does this feel like me? So having that group of people there it's amazing. Again, having your support, we can just tag you, and you're always there. You give above and beyond always, and you're always there to support us. And to me personally, is sometimes I other people will believe more in me than myself, and that's something I'm still working on. And the confidence that yes, I can do this because I'm worth it. I can do it because I deserve it. I can do it because it's something that I want and I can have, right? And receiving that from you over and over and over and over again it's magic.
Oh,
It's truly magic.
that's amazing.
Yeah, it makes a
Um,
huge difference.
I appreciate you so much. Well, and this is where, we would love to have other individuals who are like-minded come and join the society. But
Yes.
this this is this is not an ad. It's not an ad.
Join us.
And thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. I know Linda might not be able to see that on her screen, but I'd love for you to share with folks that want to reach out. What is the best way for them? Because I know that you're going to put some comments below. What is the best way for people who might have some additional questions, who need some support, who need your expertise? What's the best way to reach out and stay connected with you? Where can they find you?
You can, yeah. If you want to look at my business page, facebook.com/Linda Enoh Coaching, that would be my business page. But you can also direct outreach. Just send me a private message. I don't bite, and I will look at your message, and we can take it from there. Anything you need, just let me know.
Awesome. So this was super, super helpful, Linda. I think it's always interesting to hear other people's stories in terms of where their journey has come from. I have been so grateful and privileged to be part of your journey because when we
Um,
first started, you had two less kids.
Only had two, now I have four.
Now you have four beautiful babies. You have left um, your career behind, being a
Yeah.
professor at a very well accredited, college, university, and and helping those students, and now helping people in a very different way by
Hmm.
being able to pursue your passion, your God-given gifts around organization structure, more importantly the strategy that will help people
Yeah.
to be visible and share their gifts, their genius with more of their
Hmm.
people, and to be able to do it in a way that allows you to have that freedom and flexibility to live your dream lifestyle, traveling the
Yeah.
world,
That's right.
right? Like traveling the world. Your husband has also taken the leap of faith since you have taken the
Yes.
leap of faith, which we didn't really touch
Hmm.
on here, but he has followed in your footsteps, and he is also pursuing his entrepreneurial career as
Yep.
well, which is amazing. I just think it's awesome what your family's been able to do. Really quickly, because I realize some people might have questions because this has come up before. You know, what is a content marketing strategist in terms of um, what's the difference between like just I guess content and helping people post stuff, like what
Hmm.
is it, who is the best person to
Hmm.
get your help, where would they get the best results with you versus,
Hmm.
let's say, working with a social media strategist? Because I think sometimes
Yeah.
we know we're posting on social media. Should they work with a social media strategist or with you or with both, or what
Good
does that look
question.
like? Yeah.
All right. So, what I do is a strategy. I basically help you understand your client's psychology and the type of content you need to put out there because it's not just about the posting of it, which is what a social media strategist will do for you, or even a VA will do for you, where you hand them the content and then they do the rest, right? But I help you do what's before you hand it to them.
Mm.
So, how do you figure out what to share on your email list? So, how is that different from what you share on your Facebook group, from your business page? And is it really engaging? Is it relatable? How do you include storytelling? How do you include the emotions in all of that so that your potential customers can say, oh, yeah, I like her and I want to work with her?
I
So
love it.
that's the strategy that I help you with.
Awesome. Well, and thank you so much because I think that
Thank
helps
you.
clarify. You gave us some great tips here, and if you haven't already, grab her freebie. Linda will put that below. I've put
Yes.
in your page link, but I don't know if it shows up
Okay.
properly. So Linda will come back in and she'll be sharing the name of her free Facebook community because I know that you do regular trainings in there as well. So be
Yes.
sure to follow Linda. Reach out to her if you need help. As a member of my community,
Yeah,
we're here to serve you. So thank you so
definitely.
much. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you,
story.
Susan.
Thank you for being such an amazing, amazing student, and I wish you all the best. It's been so
Oh,
exciting to see your journey, your success, where you've come from, where you're going to, and the fact that you just recently made this pivot. Because I feel like sometimes we feel like, gosh, I'm doing it. I'm doing great, and we can't make a change. And I love the
mm-hmm.
fact that you were able to do that, and that you gave yourself permission, and that you said it was okay, and that in doing so, you unlocked and freed up a part of you that is just so much more excited to do this with your clients, and it shows in the results. It shows in the way that people have reacted to you, and the way that, I
Yeah.
mean, even your sharing of the actual offer and the opportunity that you're helping people with. it's so amazing. So I love the fact that you have been able to do it in your way and that I can support you. And that has been truly a gift that you've given to me. So I appreciate you. And thank you
Thank you
for
so
your
much,
time.
Susan, for the
And
support.
thank you if you're watching this live or on the replay. Go ahead and use
Yeah.
hashtag replay if you have any questions for me or Linda, and we'll post below. I can hear your little
I think
kiddos
somebody's knocking at the
knocking
door
on the
now.
door.
Somebody's
So
awake.
that's hashtag real life, and that's our sign to head on out. So
Right on time.
I know. Thank you all, and we will see you again next Wednesday here for another episode of Live Susan Says. Bye bye.
Bye.